Okay, so I just wanted to thank everybody for coming, and for those watching the recorded version of this Chromebook Basics training. We're going to do a little bit of kind of live show Chromebook. Gabe is kind enough to be here and help me with this training. So what we're going to cover is Chromebook Basics. And let me just read off my agenda real quick. So we're going to sign in with your Google account. Somebody mentioned that they haven't signed in with their Google account. You might be able to get away with that just signing in with like a new user or something like that, but it would probably make things easier to sign in with your Google account. Sometimes it might be required. And then we're going to navigate our desktop. That's the home screen on your Chromebook, kind of like the home screen on any computer, whether that's a different laptop or a desktop. It just shows you, we'll go over how you can see your settings, volume, your Wi-Fi, and sort of how you can access the internet and the different applications that are available on the Chromebook. And then the last thing we'll do, we might get into saving and transferring your files to Google Drive from another device. But okay, that's the agenda for today. I want to start out by just letting folks know what a Chromebook is. A Chromebook is a device that's very similar to a laptop. It's a computer that allows you to browse the internet, check emails, watch videos, and use applications like Google Workspace. And what I mean by Google Workspace is stuff like Gmail or documents, spreadsheets, anything that sort of is in with the Google applications. And so a lot of you may have just recently received a Chromebook, and a Chromebook is a good alternative. It's kind of a lower cost computer because it's a little bit more limited, but it's a good alternative for folks who just need to use the internet, maybe send out some emails, stuff that I just went over, and don't need an intense application like a desktop or computer has. So some of the maybe cons or things that a Chromebook does not have that a laptop or a desktop has is storage space. So a Chromebook generally has low storage, and that's because a lot of the storage is stored on a cloud. So it's stored via the internet, right? It's not stored in a hard drive. There is some storage space in the hard drive, but it's low compared to a laptop or a desktop. It also has limited software, so you can't use Microsoft, stuff like Microsoft Office, meaning Microsoft Word or Excel, is not available on a Chrome device because, like I said earlier, it's this sort of Google computer, and so Google uses its applications like Google Docs or Google Spreadsheets. So it does have limited software. You can download some apps that might be similar to Excel or Word, or just use the Google Docs, but you can't use all the software that you could in a desktop or laptop. So the Chromebook operates off the Chrome operating system, as opposed to PC, or PC uses Windows, and a Mac uses, what's a Mac use? I forget what a Mac.
iOS or Mac OS.
What does it use?
It's iOS or Mac OS.
Oh, okay. Mac OS. Okay, yeah. That sounds right. The last thing about the Chromebook is that you do need internet to use it most of the time. There are applications that you can use that you could work offline. However, generally, you will need to have access to internet to use a Chromebook, whereas opposed to a laptop or a desktop, you might already download some software, even Microsoft Word you could use offline and stuff like that. But some of the applications you can use offline, like I said. So these are some of so this is just a definition of what a Chromebook was and some of the pros, maybe some of the cons or differences between that a Chromebook and a laptop or desktop. Any questions on that? Okay.
Alex, I already have a PC laptop that I used for several years and created a lot of files on using, that software. And I am playing around with creating a website, and that's based on that platform also. So I think what I'm hearing here is that I might be able to use this Chromebook to compose content, but that I'm going to have to transfer it over to my laptop to be able to interface with all this body of work I've already done. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, we'll take a look at what applications you're able to download on the Chromebook. But yeah, like I said, it's somewhat limited in that you can't use all the software that you could with regular computer or something like that.
Well, also I have a lot of graphics files on that laptop that.
Yeah, so if you have like, let's say you use like Photoshop or something like that, which is a popular graphics software. I don't believe it's available on a Chromebook, but they do have a similar application. So you can take a look at some similar applications that could be compatible in the applications window, but yes, a Chromebook is limited in the sense that in some of the software that you use with other computers. But to get back to your point about saving documents, you could always use the Google Drive or the Google Drive, which is a Google Cloud system to save and back up your files. Let's say if you had your laptop, you're working on your laptop, you could transfer those files to your Google Drive and still be able to use and see them in a Chromebook. Does that make sense?
I think I'm getting the picture, that this is more like a notebook I carry around to compose things and access the internet. And my work, there's a lot of graphic design stuff in there that I've done and use. I think I'm going to set up my laptop as my workhorse and carry around a much lighter Chromebook.
Yeah, that might be the move there. And like I said, when we get into the apps, we could explore this, you could give us an example of an app or a software that you use, and we could see if it's compatible with Chromebook or if there's a similar one. But good question.
Thank you.
Okay, if we don't have any more questions, I will continue. First thing we're going to do is sign in to a Chromebook. And what you'll need to sign in is Wi-Fi or internet, along with usually a Google account. Raise your hand if you have both of these things. Okay, so I didn't see Julie or Glenn.
Sorry, what? I missed that.
Okay, so what you'll need to do to sign into a Google Chrome is a Google account, and you'll need Wi-Fi.
Okay.
I have Wi-Fi.
Yeah,
You have
I
Wi-Fi, but Julie, you don't have a Google account. Is that what you're saying? Okay, cool. So, because one of us, yeah. So let me show you how to set up a Google account if you don't have one. So I'm going to share my screen. I'm sorry, this is taking a little bit. Okay. Okay, so if you don't have a Google account, what you want to do is create a Google account. And the way you can do that is by going to the internet. I'm using my Google Chrome browser right now, and I'm going to do this again. You can simply go on and type in create Google account into the web browser. And the first one that pops up should be a link to create a Google account. So if I click on it, taking some time to load here.
Mm.
And yeah, it'll take you, it says choose a Google account for myself. And then, yeah, or you could simply type in accounts.google.com and it'll take you there. And so what you'll do is fill this out, your first name, your last name, your username, and then you'll have to fill out your password, and sort of go through the steps here to create a Google account. Does that make sense? Anybody have questions on this? It's kind of like creating a email account. It's very similar. You'll see that Gmail is very heavily tied into your Google account. Does that make sense, Julie? You want me to send you?
Totally. Yeah,
you want me,
totally.
you want me to send you the link on the chat?
Yeah, could you please?
Sure. Let me copy it and then chat, and then I'll paste it here. Okay. There you go. It's on the chat if anybody needs to create one. Okay, so once you've created a Google account and you have Wi-Fi set up, you're now ready to log into your Google Chrome device. So I wonder, Gabe, are you able to open up sort of start off with that and show us that process?
Yeah, let me sign out and then
Okay.
show you from the slide.
Thanks,
Sure.
Alex.
Okay.
Right
And you,
now,
Oh, wow.
yeah, go for it, Gabe. Sorry.
right now the computer's coming online and it's gonna ask me who I want to sign in as. When you first sign up, you're gonna come down to the bottom in the left-hand corner, and there are gonna be three options: shut down, browse as guest, and add person. You're gonna choose add person. When you do that, it's gonna add either you or a child. And if you add a child, it has some like safety measures so that they're not spending too much time on the computer. They're not looking at things that they probably shouldn't be looking at. We're probably going to set this device up for you. So you're going to go there, you're going to hit next,
Mhm.
and it's going to ask you to sign in to your Chromebook. in the same way you would sign into your email for Gmail.
Oh,
And because I already did that, the account will pop up here and it'll just have you put in your password.
mm,
Perfect. Yeah. So that was a great explanation there. And so that Google Accounts website that we just saw, that's what Gabe is talking about. You would enter in your Google Accounts information, which is your Google email, and then the password.
And then the password for the computer every time is going to be the password for your email.
Right. So that's pretty nice. You don't have to have a separate password for your computer. It's the same one as your email. Good. Any questions on that, folks? No. And then Elnora, you said you were able to sign in without doing that, right?
I'm not signing in. I flip it open and there, it pops up and I can go into the Gmail or I can go into the Chrome search.
So I think what happened is when you started, it gave you the option to sign in as a guest.
Ah,
So if you logged out of the computer, you would be able to
Do
sign
you-
back in and create an account or link it to an existing account.
okay. Okay. So
so
then
you-
I would
Mhm.
have to sign in every time I wanted to use the Chromebook. Is that right?
The first time you sign in, it'll have you put in the email and the password. And then
Okay.
every time after that, when you open up the Chromebook, it'll have your account right in the middle, and you just type in your password and it says welcome, and you have access to all of your Google accounts.
mm.
So I still need to use my password. I guess my concern is that if I leave it in the library or the coffee shop or something and somebody flips it open and there's my email already open, there's my whatever already open, I don't want it to be unlocked like that.
Yeah,
So,
that's a super valid concern. With the Chromebook, when you close it and open it back up, it should ask for your password every time.
oh, okay. That
And if
does
it
sound better.
doesn't, then we have settings and we can go in and change how often it asks for your password.
Okay, that does sound better. Thank you.
Yeah. And
absolutely.
so that's a great explanation, Gabe. And that's maybe another reason why you would want to log into your account, Elnora, beside instead of using just like a new user. So folks just can't just log into your computer, right? They'll need your password.
Right. Would that then allow me to load up? I happen to prefer Firefox, Mozilla.
Mhm.
And right now I'm kind of stuck using Chrome. Can I
Well, it's a
use,
Chromebook.
what's that?
It's a Chromebook, so.
I know. I'm just asking.
That's a good question. I'm not sure the answer to that. Yeah, so it looks like if I just Googled it real quick, it says Firefox can now be installed on Chromebooks. So
Okay, so that's a yes. All right.
yeah, so we will and that's going to be installed with the apps that we'll get to. So I think you had two questions on the apps there, and so we're going to explore that a bit when we get there. Good question though, Eleanor.
Well, I have to admit that I've been avoiding any complications. I'm well into my 70s. I've learned enough in some areas, and I'm not fond of the idea of trying to keep up with everything that keeps changing. So I avoid getting too deep into anything new until I can see that it's going to benefit me, that it's more useful to me than having to put up with learning something else. So.
No, I hear you on that. I'm kind of, it's funny. I started this position as a digital literacy trainer, but I was pretty limited to digital literacy myself because I'm kind of like you, where I'm like, I just want to use one thing and that's it. And so, yeah, sort of technology forces you to learn a little bit, and if we can use the stuff that works for you, that's great. If not, we'll try to make it as painless as possible to learn, this new technology. Okay, so we've signed in, and you guys saw that when Gabe signed in, he showed us his desktop, and let me see. Let me just go back to my agenda. I don't want to get carried away here. So sign in with your Google account. Okay, so we're going to look at our desktop now. So once you sign in, how it looks like. So yeah, Gabe's got his desktop shown there, and he's got a picture in the background. So yeah, it looks very similar to a laptop and laptop you could see. And so now, Gabe, do you mind sharing your desktop with us?
Yeah, definitely.
Perfect. We're going to see what Gabe's Chromebook desktop looks like in order to further explore our new Chromebook.
Wow. Oh,
Perfect. So yeah, you guys can have these different images like you would in any laptop. And so what you'll see is on the bottom there, on the bottom right, is what's called the status tray. And so in the status tray, you can look at things like your settings. There's a power option. There's a volume. It's very similar to a laptop or desktop. Almost all of them have it in the bottom right there. Unless you have a Mac, then you'll have to go into your Finder. But yeah, so if you can see, Gabe has clicked and expanded the options there. And you have stuff like notifications. There's Wi-Fi there. You can see his Wi-Fi is ICS strong. He's hovering over it right there. And one of the important features in this section, and this is a status tray. I have to remember that. I forget all the terms, but this is a status tray, is the settings option, which is a little gear right at the top there. So Gabe, can you click on that? So this is a great thing for people to know here. Under settings, it's a, in any computer, it's a good place to sort of work out the kinks. Let's say if your Wi-Fi is wacky, or if you have stuff like security and privacy or notifications, you'll see all that stuff. Anything that has to do with your laptop, either the hardware or the software within the laptop, not the internet or the app, it will be contained in the settings. So you can see on the left, there's like network, which means Wi-Fi, and that's how you would connect to Wi-Fi. There's Bluetooth, some connected devices, there's accounts. Any questions on, so I know some folks already have their Chromebook. Have they explored the settings option or have any questions on it?
I was wondering, mine when I set it up, it connected to my Android, like you showed. Is there any reason that is preferable or non-preferable?
Okay, so you
like it connected. I had all my passwords and everything. That.
Okay, so and Gabe just clicked on that. So you said your Android automatically connected to your Chromebook?
Well, no, it asked me to do it while I was setting up and so I gave it permission to do that. But I'm wondering if there's any, like, what would be the benefit or of doing it or not, or what would be the risk of having it connected?
Yeah, that's a good question. So because Android is sort of a Google connected phone, that's probably why they're synced up. You have a Chromebook that's Google, kind of like a Google connected laptop, and then you have an Android that's a Google connected phone. So both of them work with Google accounts. the account that we just looked at, you know, our Gmail account. And that's probably a reason why they're synced up, much like a MacBook would be synced up with an iPhone. And you know, some benefits, I'm not exactly sure because I don't have a Chromebook, which is why Gabe is sort of doing this training here. But I know that when I had a MacBook and an iPhone, which is like having a Chromebook and an Android, you could sort of work seamlessly in one and the other. I mean, it's all kind of saved on the cloud. So if you created a document on your Chromebook, it would appear on your Android, right? There might be stuff like messages. Like on a Mac, I was able to do text messages on my MacBook laptop and receive them in my phone as well. Oh yeah, so it says send and receive text messages on your Chromebook. So Gabe is highlighting that. You can share files, connect your Chromebook to your phone network. You can unlock your Chromebook with your phone. So these are sort of some minor sort of, you know, benefits. It's not required, necessary, but it might just make your life a little bit easier, if that makes sense.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, that's the settings option there. I don't want to get too into it. We might look back on it if we have more time. But like I said, this is a good place to get familiar with. And actually, for folks using the setting, it can be overwhelming. So let's say you have a problem with, you know, an application or a Wi-Fi and you don't know what tab it's under. I really recommend using the search bar at the top. Let's say we wanted to search for Bluetooth. And looks like it popped up, right? And it sort of took them right to Bluetooth. So for anybody that seems, you know, I know the settings can be really overwhelming. There's always a search bar when you're in settings. So make sure to take a look, you know, and I know some people were like wondering about wallpaper. I wonder if you type in wallpaper into the settings there. Yeah. So Gabe on his computer, he's got this nice, beautiful mountainous area, but you can change up your wallpaper from the settings. You can have some different landscapes. So settings, again, has to do with anything within about the Chromebook within your computer or the hardware in it, software and hardware. Okay, we'll move on now. And that's again in the status tray on the bottom right. All right, so moving from right to left, we're going to look at the shelf, what's called the shelf, which is the bottom, sort of the bottom middle of Gabe's computer, where he has, you can see the Google Chrome app, the Mail app. He's got a little app with a play symbol. That's a YouTube app. This is called a shelf right here. This is where all your well, I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that. This is where some of your applications are going to be, sort of the main ones. And you can put new applications to the shelf by pinning and unpinning. So if Gabe hovers over one of let's say on YouTube and he right clicks, he can unpin that the YouTube app, and that would disappear from the shelf space, no longer there. We'll show you guys how to pin an app there in a moment. But you know, if you had stuff like Zoom, the Zoom app, or you know, your internet Chrome app or your Firefox app, it might be a good place to put these applications for you to get access them easier in the shelf right at the bottom there. and by hovering over one and right clicking, like Gabe did earlier, it will give you some options for each app. So unpin is the big one, uninstall is another one, and this one has a new tab option also. Okay. Any questions with the shelf and the apps that you can pin on there?
I don't know. I can't see the shelf. What I'm looking at the bottom of the pretty mountain scene is where is the Zoom bar, where it says mute, stop, participants, chat, share, leave. And that is blocking out the shelf.
Oh, if you hover over if you hover your mouse over the middle of your screen, Elnora,
Yes.
and then just click on it lightly once, that should go away, and you should just see Gabe's video.
Yeah, that's okay. That's just something funky going on with mine. I know what the shelf is. It's cool. There's a little glitch.
Yeah, it doesn't. Mine's doing the same thing. This version of Zoom that I downloaded from the app, it doesn't have as many options as the one I'm familiar with. But on his screen share, it's just showing the picture. But if you make it a small screen, you can at least see our own shelf on the bottom.
Oh yeah. Okay. There's a little options thing at the top, and then I can full screen fit to windows sort of things. But yeah, I just wanted to let you know that there's a mistranslation going on here. You're talking something
Yeah.
I don't care. I just wanted to let you know.
No, thanks for letting us know, because we're over here explaining stuff, and if you guys can't see it, it doesn't really make sense. But yeah, so what you'll want to do, I should have said this earlier, is you'll want to full screen your Zoom. Try to full screen your Zoom, and then kind of hover over your the full screen until your sort of menu Zoom bar on the bottom goes away. Yeah, so if you full screen, you should be able to see that shelf on Gabe's screen.
Not really, but I don't want to exit without.
Did you full screen, Elnora?
I'm on full screen.
Okay, and so you see a bigger version of Gabe's desktop?
Yes, I do. And I see only the Zoom bar at the bottom. And I'm hovering everywhere I can, and nothing's happening. So,
okay, try hovering in the middle, like in one of the mountains on Gabe's screen, and then like click on it.
Oh, something just popped up on one of the mountains. How did I do that?
Just click on it once, and then, or just rest your mouse on there. And then without clicking on it, and it should fade. Your menu, your Zoom menu should fade away. Is it fading?
No, it's not. But I don't want to waste the class time.
Well, no, this is very helpful information for folks. Well, I'm sorry that's not happening for you there. But you know what?
It's not either. But if I make it a small screen, I can at least see my own.
Okay. Well, we're gonna see a video too that explains the shelf a little bit also. So we're gonna continue here to the left. So moving from right to left, we saw the status tray, we saw the shelf, and to the most left is a circle, a little circle, almost like on a PC would be a start button, but on this Chromebook is a little circle, and that's the search. And let me get this right. I'm sorry. Let me make sure I'm using the right language. But I believe that's the search sort of bar or circle. It's called, yeah, the search circle there. And it should be on the lower left corner. It's this little circle there. And then if you click on it like Gabe did, what pops up, and you guys could probably see this, now is a search bar where you could search, as it says, search your devices, your apps, your settings, etc. So if Gabe wanted to search, one of the apps that we saw on there earlier, the YouTube app, sure enough, when he types it in, it pops up, and then he can right click that again and pin that to the shelf. Remember, he removed it from the shelf earlier. Now he can put it on there. Now let's say Gabe wanted to search for, an example that Elnora had was Firefox. I wonder if we can search for Firefox. Okay, so looks like
That's-
if we click search, it'll take us to the internet, and then if there's no application already within your computer, it'll take you to the internet as an option. And is there a downloadable Firefox there? Yeah, so as you can see, Gabe has clicked into download Firefox. So yeah, the Google Chrome works with some apps, and I just want to let folks know that sort of these apps that I'm talking about, like YouTube and Gmail and Google Chrome, Firefox, they're essentially just small icons on your Google Chrome that link to a web page on the internet, right? They're usually not like a software like Microsoft Word or Excel or Photoshop, right? They're sort of just small icons that link to almost like a shortcut to the internet. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay. So that's a search bar there. I think that was, and that's how to find apps, how to pin and unpin them. Any questions on that? Any questions on the apps and searching for them? Okay.
Alex,
Yep.
I'm finding this very informative.
Okay. I'm sorry. Who was that? Julie?
Julie, I'm finding this very informative.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Well, thanks for mentioning that, Julie.
Yeah, sure.
And there's actually a Google Play Store that I wanted to show you guys too. Gabe, are you able to search for the Google Play? I wonder if it's in. Okay, so it looks like he went to settings and he had to turn it on.
I think because this is managed by the organization, I'm not able to,
Okay.
but that might be something worth looking into.
Do you mean the organization like?
Like, I think because Jared set this laptop up, it's under MCIL and they have certain restrictions, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
But on each of yours, it should work. I think mine was just set up before it was delivered.
Gotcha. Okay. Can you just really quick Google the Play Store just so we can sort of see a visual of it? Google Play Store. Yep. Yeah, and so this is sort of like if you guys are familiar with like your phones, if like one of you and I have an Android, this is where we would download apps. If we wanted to get any sort of apps like Zoom or something like that, we would go to the Google Play Store and install the app. Now, if you have an iPhone, you might go to your the App Store on your iPhone. And then that's where you would, so on a Chromebook, you would go to the Google Play Store, which you can go in the using the internet, or usually there's a icon or a option there. So so Gabe is in the Google Play Store. He's in apps. Elnora, what was an app that you said you use for gaming that maybe we could search for?
I don't game and I don't do apps.
Oh, I'm sorry, not gaming. It was you said you for photo editing.
No, it wasn't like Photoshop. I hired a graphic artist to refine my logo, and she used files that I had trouble accessing and manipulating and putting places. So our logo, I had trouble placing it. So I'm aware of that file type issue. And so I'm just seeing that this Chromebook is actually really limited for some of what I need to do. And then I was gonna sell my laptop, but now I'm not going to, because I can do my graphics shit on, pardon my language, and my internet stuff on it. And so I think I'm gonna keep that and then use this as a, I can't physically carry that laptop with me. It's too heavy.
Right. That makes sense. And that's I'm glad you're kind of in this conversation, because that shows folks what the limitations are. But just as an example, what's a soft?
As far as apps go, my Google Chrome didn't come with Zoom on it, and so I had to download the Zoom app last night so I was prepared for today.
Okay. Cool. So yeah, so Zoom would be one. I'm gonna, you know what, just as an example, Gabe, can you type in Microsoft Word and see what comes up? I know Microsoft Word probably will not appear, but maybe similar search results, or it does appear. So Microsoft Word edit documents. Now this might be sort of, I don't think this is the full Microsoft Word, but it looks like it might be a version that could be compatible. Like I said, you can't get Microsoft Office in a Google Chrome, but you could get apps that are very similar. So if Gabe goes back one, so this edit documents might be a similar one. You could see Google Documents appeared, and a couple of other ones. Microsoft Excel appeared. Well, I don't know. You might be able to download Microsoft Word. That's interesting that Word and Excel appeared on there.
Well, it seems like that would be best if I could do that and create, just use this as a notebook and just create first drafts on it.
Yeah, and if you could see sort of what it has in the information section of this app.
And then that would be much easier. I can take it to the laptop.
When it says read more.
Layout stuff with it. I'm really used to the Word suite of software. I've used that in offices for years. And
yeah, so it looks like there might be some, it might be limited, or maybe it's the same one, but yeah, it looks like there's some options here for you. So yeah, that's an example, just to search for the apps that maybe you have used previously. They might appear, or you might have compatible ones or very similar ones.
Well, this little bit of information is worth hundreds of dollars to me, actually, because I was going to off the laptop. And then I think later I would have discovered that this Chromebook doesn't do all that laptop did. It is a pretty beefy laptop. So
yeah, that's sort of why I wanted to make sure we had the definition of a Chromebook initially, what it does, its limitations. It's really cool that MCIL is offering free Chromebooks for folks who qualify. But that being said, if you're working online and need certain specific apps or software, then it might not be best for you. Okay, I think we've sort of done the whole apps thing. Any questions on the apps, or how to download them, how to manipulate them? No. Okay, cool. Gabe, did you want to add anything else before we watch a video sort of summarizing everything we just went over?
Nothing comes to mind. I feel like we went over a lot of really good information, and then anything more than that, there's going to be some specifics that people will probably come across as they work.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll watch the video now of sort of a summary of what we just went over. Probably a lot more concise and maybe better done, but just sort of a summary here. So we'll watch it, and then we'll go through some of the links I have in the agenda for you guys. If you guys get stuck or want additional information or references for the Chromebook. All right, so here I go. Actually, I'm not sure my screen, huh? Maybe I'll have to do that first. Okay. Share screen. Okay. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. And can you guys hear that?
Yes.
Oh.
So here we go.
Hi, I'm Raymond, and today I'm going to show you how to set up and navigate your new Chromebook.
Oops.
First, let's set it up. Before you begin, you'll need your Google account username and password, along with internet access. If you don't have a Google account, go to google.com/accounts to create one. Make sure your Chromebook is plugged in, and then press the power button. Once your Chromebook turns on, you'll see on-screen instructions that ask you to choose your language and network, and then sign in with your Google account. Now you'll choose your profile picture. You can always come back and update this later. Now that you're all set up, I'll show you the basics of navigating your new Chromebook. This is your desktop. Your Chromebook's desktop does not include icons. On the bottom of the desktop, you'll see what's called the shelf. This is where you can access apps that are pinned or currently running. On the bottom right, next to your profile picture, is the status tray, which contains quick access to your settings. On the bottom left, you'll see a circle icon. This is the apps launcher. To view all of your apps, click the app launcher and then the all apps icon. To create a folder of your apps, just drag one app onto another, like so. And for easy access, you can pin them to the shelf by two-finger clicking and selecting Pin to Shelf. To view your Chromebook status and settings.
Yeah, I forgot to say that there's no so a right click. I kept saying right click, but a right click on like a laptop that only has a pad is two fingers, tapping two fingers. Same with a MacBook or any other laptop, you would tap with two fingers. That's equivalent to a right click, like Raymond just said.
Open the status area by clicking your profile picture on the bottom right. From the status area, you'll find your networks, battery life, settings, and more. There's also a question mark icon, which is the Get Help app. Here, you can search for help articles within Chromebook. To change your settings, click Settings. You can search for what you want to change, like wallpaper. Let's go through some touchpad and keyboard tips to help you navigate your Chromebook. Use two fingers and move them up or down to scroll. To right-click, do a two-finger click. For a map of keyboard shortcuts, press Control, Alt, and question mark. Depending on which key you hit, you'll see the corresponding shortcut. That's it. You're all set to start using your new Chromebook. For more information on getting started, visit the Google Help Center or the Get Help app.
Okay. Any questions on that video? It's kind of a review, a couple of more little shortcuts or things there. Any questions on that?
Yeah, just to point out that again, the zoom bar at the bottom covered out on your screen. So on that video, I did not see the shelf or the status tray.
Um,
I mean, I could guess, but I'm just saying.
okay. Man, that's a bummer there. Let me see if I can get a picture of it or something for you.
Oh, I know what it's supposed to look like. I'm just saying that if you're going to be
Yeah, if I'm going to be sharing.
tutorial in the future, I can imagine it. I've been around computers. I know what you're talking about, but I
Right.
can't see it. Okay.
Did anybody else have an issue with that also? Not being able to see that. Okay, well, that's something to keep in mind. I should ask folks if they can see the bottom, which is helpful. Thanks, Elnora. All right, I'm going to just kind of take us through. So this is the agenda I created, and this video along with this agenda is going to be posted in the hub link, which will be sent out to folks on Monday. And so I just wanted to, that video we just watched is the first one here. And there's a couple other resources. There's a, actually, I'm sorry, it's the second one. There's a couple other resources. The first one is a free Chromebook basics tutorial website. There's a Chromebook help and discover what you can do with Chromebook. This is almost like a class. Chromebook help is pretty cool because it's created by Google itself, the creator of the Chromebook, right? And so when I click this link, I can scroll down. It says browse help topics. I could get started. A really cool thing, and if I click get started, it says learn about Chromebooks, new to Chromebooks, tour your Chromebook. A really cool option that I like is learn on the simulator. So you can click on this and interact with tutorials on a Chromebook simulator. And if you click on it, it'll take you to this, and it says use the Chromebook simulator. So you can, tap keyboard shortcuts and sort of just play around with this. And this is a good one. So take a screenshot of your entire screen. It is Control plus show windows. Yeah, so it's Control plus this.
It's a button about 6. And if
Yeah,
you just press that on its own, it allows you to have multiple desktops.
Okay. Oh, gotcha. Yeah. So these are some shortcuts that it will take you through. It like turn caps lock on or off, right? You'll notice there's no caps lock on a Chromebook. You'll have to do the search, the little magnifying search one, and Alt, right? Lock your screen is magnifying L. So this simulator will take you through some of these keyboard shortcuts or other stuff, like using your apps to take a photo or video. Just more support on here. As you can see, I'm just kind of playing around with it. I think it's a pretty cool simulator and option to learn more about a Chromebook. Okay, this is all available on the agenda along with the definition of Chromebook and what we went through today. We don't have time to see how you can transfer your files to Google Drive, but it's kind of just like you would open up Google Drive and transfer your laptop's computers to the drive. I do have a link for it here if you guys need it. As always, you can reach out to me via email or the digital literacy hotline if you need additional support. Like I said, I'll be emailing this agenda with the resources and the recorded training on Monday. And if we don't have any more questions, I'll conclude this training. Is there any more questions or comments by any folks? Nora, go for it.
This one is really more for Gabe. Do you have can I go to the website? I'm a member of MCIL, but ICS I'm not familiar with. Do you have a separate website?
Yeah, so the ICS website is going to be
Okay.
connectics.org.
Okay,
CONNECTICS.org.
And I
Thank
put it
you.
in the chat. I put it in the chat here.
okay,
Connect ICS org.
thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Alex, I just wanted to thank you for doing this. This has been very,
Definitely.
and also not intimidating. Part of the reason I'm so like, I don't want to learn anything new is that sometimes when I ask a younger person to explain something to me, they just go blah, 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 and it goes like that. I'm not an audio learner. Okay, so
Yeah, I know. I hear you. I'm the same way, and try to really. I actually need to learn the same way too. So I kind of, I'm there with you on that. I appreciate, yeah, your guys' interaction and good questions here. So thanks for joining.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, folks.
We're together.
Well, thanks, Gabe. Thanks a lot, Gabe. I really appreciate your
Anytime. I'm happy to help out.
done with that. Yeah. All right, folks. Well, have a good day. See you.
Thank you too.